Hey guys, welcome back to SNES. Hope you're all well today. So here we go, brand new episode of SNES, and just want to start by thanking everybody who gave me some feedback following the update recently in terms of how we're going to go forward with this series. So thank you very much guys. I had some really great suggestions about how to continue making the SNES videos, and yeah, I think the best way to go forward, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make these videos as and when. So when I feel the need to make an SNES video, I'll make one. And if you guys leave questions in the comments below, I'll just pick some questions out and make a nice video for you. I think it's better than trying to commit to weekly, monthly, you know, or whichever way people want it. I think it's just going to work better that way. It'd be good for you guys because you get plenty of time to ask questions. You don't need to worry about getting in by a deadline, and it'll take the pressure off myself, so always a bonus. So there you go guys, thank you very much for all your feedback, really appreciate it. And let's get on with the questions because we've got a lot of questions this time around, so I've picked a few out. And the first set of questions come from Cal Does Games. Thank you, Cal. And Cal's first question is, are you going to watch Star Wars Episode 7? No, is the short answer. I am more of a Star Trek guy, not really a Star Wars fan. I've tried to get into them, but I just don't enjoy them at all. So I am interested in Episode 7 purely because it is J.J. Abrams. And being a Star Trek fan, I was really impressed with what he did with the Star Trek movies. So I'm hoping that the Star Wars movie is going to be the same situation where there's a lot of fan service, but he also makes it easy for people who don't like Star Wars or have never watched the Star Wars movie to get into the franchise, which is what I assume he's going to do with Episode 7. So you don't need to know all of the story from the previous 6. And for the people that are avid fans, there'll be nuggets of information for them. So if he does, then that'll be great. And I love JJ's visual style, so I think it should look great. But I'll probably give it a try on Blu-ray, to be quite honest. I'm not in a rush to go see it. Are you a Linkin Park fan? I was, but only for Hybrid Theory. After Hybrid Theory, I can't remember the name of the second album, but I thought it was terrible. I didn't like it one bit. And Hybrid Theory, when it came out, it was just a phenomenal album. You know, it was at a time when I was going to the clubs every week, and you know, I was absolutely loving the metal scene. And yeah, that was some good times, man. There's some really good bands back then. What's the most you've ever paid for a game? I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure that Final Fight Tough is the most expensive game I purchased, which was £100, which is, you know, a lot of money, but compared to some games, isn't really a lot of cash. So yeah, I mean, in the future, there are a couple of games I want to pick up, which are probably going to cost me a bit more than that, unfortunately. Super Turrican 2 in particular, definitely going to cost me more than that. But you know, we'll get there eventually. But yeah, that's the most expensive one I've bought so far. Next questions are from Retro Shane 88. Thank you, Shane. First question, will Nintendo ever return to the glory days? I don't know, mate, if I'm honest with you. There's a possibility, yes, they can do it. I just don't know if they will. It's all going to hinge on E3 2016. If they get it right and they announce a new console, give it its official name, and it's interesting, and they've got enough third-party support, they've got really good launch lineup, which, you know, is more than likely they will have some really good Nintendo first-party titles, then yeah, they've got a chance. It all depends on what the hardware is, I think, more than anything. Not only having a normal controller, not having a gimmick, which unfortunately I think it probably will have, but also the power issue, which is not something that I care about, power usually, but I do obviously acknowledge that in order to have the third parties come on board, they're going to have it at least on par with PS4 or Xbox One, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the arse for the third parties to port their games to the new Nintendo system. It's just as simple as that. So unfortunately, power is going to be an issue. It's something they need to look at, you know, and it's not that Nintendo aren't capable, because they have in the past been the most powerful system of a generation. So they're quite happy to do it, they just choose not to with the Wii. I hope that the new console has nothing to do with the Wii, and I hope it's a completely separate entity and they start over and they get the marketing right this time round. I'm really fascinated to see actually what it's going to be at E3 and how this is going to work. I assume they're still on the same path, because the guy who's taken over as president of Nintendo has said he's only doing it for a year. He's only contracted for 1 year. So I assume he won't be changing anything. He'll just continue with what Mr. Iwata wanted to do. Interesting to see what happens after that though. But yeah, I still think Nintendo have a chance of coming back and being on top again. And that's the one thing I've always wanted. I would love Nintendo to be the dominant force in video games again. It'd be amazing. Crash Bandicoot or Spyro the Dragon, and why? Crash Bandicoot. I really like Spyro the Dragon, the first one. Never played the sequels on the PS1. And I haven't played any of the PS2 games. Likewise with Crash, I didn't play any games from that generation because they weren't Naughty Dog games and they never appealed to me. but the original trilogy on PS1 of Crash Bandicoot was just so good from start to finish, all 3 games. Third one in particular, they just got better every time. The third one, Warped, is my favourite, and yeah, I just enjoyed playing them a lot more than Spyro, so that's the only reason really. If you could have any game soundtrack on vinyl, what would it be? Well, there were quite a few that I would like, but I mean the main one I was talking to Retro Nintendo about is actually yesterday, and I said to him if they put Street Fighter 2 out, then that's a must buy because that would be incredible. I've got the Nintendo Magazine System CD that was released back in the 90s, and it's great having that soundtrack, but having it on vinyl with proper artwork, big lithographs, that would be absolutely awesome. Other games would be like the Turrican series, Castlevania 4, Mario 4, Mario World. There's a few, but yeah, I would probably say Street Fighter 2 is top of the list without doubt. I think that would look stunning. Next set of questions from Murray, Muzz247365. Cheers, Murray. Murray asks, you tweeted that you hit 1 million YouTube views recently. Congratulations. Cheers, mate. Did you ever imagine that would happen? Not in a million years. No, I mean, I'm amazed. Yeah, this week my channel hit 1 million views, and I can't believe it. I've been doing YouTube videos for a long time now, and I can honestly say when I started making videos, I would never ever have expected to have as many subscribers as I've got and to have as many views as I've got. It's phenomenal. The fact that so many people are interested in what I have to say blows my mind. I think it goes for anyone who makes videos. Even if you've got 10 subscribers, just to know there's 10 people out there that have looked at your channel and gone, yeah, I like this guy, I'll subscribe to him, I want to see some more. That is like a major validation when you make a video and someone says that. I mean, you get a comment and someone's really positive. Yeah, nothing better than it. So yeah, absolutely blown away. And I really want to thank everybody out there who's ever watched one or more of my videos. You know, just thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. If you could start life over again, would you do everything the same way or totally different? To be honest, I would say I would do it exactly the same. There's no point in having regrets, as people say, and it's true. I just think, you know, you go through life and you always get to that point where you have intersections where you have to make a decision, and you know, it shapes how your life's going to be. And I think you have to live with the decisions you make, because otherwise you're just going to end up the whole life going, well, I should have done this instead. But what's the point? You know, it is what it is. You made that decision, you've got to live with it. You know, you make good decisions, you make bad decisions, but we all have to learn from it, and that's the main thing. If you don't learn from the decision, then yeah, you've got issues. But I'd never want to change everything, because what's the point? My life is what it is, and I'm happy with the way it's turned out so far. It's been okay. You know, it can always be better, like everybody's life. We can always aspire for more. But yeah, I'm happy the way I am. Next question from NRL Visual. Thank you, mate. What are your thoughts on Amiibo, and do you have any? Yeah, I assume you're a new viewer, so yes, I do, mate. I have several videos for the Amiibo on my channel, and they're all sitting behind the camera there. I've got like 3 shells worth so far. I only buy Amiibos that I actually like, though. I don't just go for full sets or buy any Amiibos. I just buy just the Amiibos that I like. So at the moment, the couple that came out recently, the only one I was going to get was Duck Hunt, and then I decided not to because I didn't really think it looked that good. I've got the 8-bit Mario on order, which comes out next Friday, so I really can't wait for that, because I've seen a couple of people pick up Mario Maker and it looks great, so really looking forward to adding that to the collection. And I'm trying to think, the only other one that's coming out, I think it's November, is Falco from Star Fox. I really want that. So Amazon's got it listed, but you can't pre-order it, it's currently unavailable, so I've got an email alert on that one. So I really want to get that. That's the one, the most important one. And there are a couple of older ones that have been restocked in the last couple of months that I want to get, like Rosalina, King D, and maybe Ness. I'm not 100% on that one. Possibly Palutena as well. So there's a couple I want to pick up. I really want Pac-Man, but unfortunately no one's got it in stock that I've seen. So yeah, I'll have to get that at some point if it comes back in stock. But yeah, I love Amiibos. Next set of questions from Jara4. So thank you, mate. And he asks, have you had a chance to play on your original Xbox recently? Are you still looking out for games on that machine? I've not played on it recently, and the only reason is because I've got the Go Tech for my Amiga, and so my Commodore Amiga has taken over my life, as I said in the previous video. I'm not playing anything else, I'm just literally playing Amiga, and that's it. And I need to get back on the Super Nintendo and the Xbox and PlayStations and Genesis and whatever, but yeah, I'm just loving the Amiga too much to be playing anything else at the moment. I'm always actively looking for games on Xbox, and quite frankly, to be honest, I don't go in the wild anymore because they're so cheap online, there's no point. You can get to eStocks on eBay, you can get to that'sentertainment.co.uk. You can pay, you know, $1.99 for an Xbox game, and 99% of the time you'll get it mint condition. or close to. You know, the discs are always resurfaced as well, so you don't have to worry about scratched up shitty discs. You know, the only thing you usually have to do is probably replace the case, because they've been obviously used games, having all the plastic's gone grubby. But you can get like 100 bleeding cases for 25 quid, so it's not exactly expensive. So yeah, I will be getting more Xbox games in the future. It's just at the moment I'm just playing on the Amiga too much to really be arsed buying games. The beard comes and goes in your videos, Pete. Will it come back for the winter? Well, it is, as you can see, there's a little bit coming on now. I'm trying to grow it fully again because it is winter time soon. You know, it's now October, it won't be long before it gets really cold. And I would like to have it there just for warmth, but I don't know, it depends, because I'm always indecisive. I've always been like that for my life. And I know in a couple of weeks I'll probably get to a point where I think it needs to go now, I need a break from it. Because, you know, once it gets past the itchy stage, which it has now, it's all right, you just forget about it and don't really notice it. But then when it gets a bit longer, say in about 2 weeks time when it's quite long like it used to be, it's just irritating, like when you have a drink and you get a wet moustache or something, it's just nasty. It doesn't feel good at all, so you're constantly drying yourself. That sounds really nasty, but it is. I think you've got an Xbox One. I have. Are you enjoying the console? I am. I haven't played on my Xbox One for a couple of months because I've had nothing to play on it, simple as that. I should really go back and play a few things. I need to finish off Sunset Overdrive. I got near the end of the game and never got around to finishing it for some reason. Shame, because I really like that game. But yeah, the Xbox One in particular, I really like the console. It's great. I think the controller's great, the dash is great. I love the look of the console. It's becoming my favourite console of this generation. It's weird. I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be PS4. You know, being a massive PS3 fan last gen, but I tend to always go for the underdog for some reason. I've noticed that, you know, especially from last generation onwards. I went for the PS2, then I switched to the original Xbox. Sorry, 2 generations back. And then when the PS3 and Xbox 360 were out, I started with the 360, loved it, and then I switched sides to the PS3, which was the underdog. And then this generation, the Xbox One has been the underdog for quite a while, and I love the PS4, but I really prefer the Xbox One, if I'm absolutely honest. But you know, I've got both. They've both got great exclusives, so it's win-win, isn't it, really? But if I was given a choice, I had to choose, it would be, I couldn't split because there's too many good exclusives on PS4, but I do have a tendency to prefer the Xbox One. It's a great console. Right, okay. So next question from Retro Heaven UK, thank you mate, who asks, who is your favourite Street Fighter 2 character, favourite Killer Instinct character, and your favourite Mortal Kombat character? Cheers Johnny. Street Fighter is easy, that's Ryu, without doubt, best character in the game. I love Ryu. You know, most people seem to go for Ken, but for me Ryu's better. He's a little bit more technical and he just looks cooler. Killer Instinct, I don't know the name of the character because I'm not a massive Killer Instinct fan, but it's the girl in green who has the big staff and she turns into a panther. I love her, she's absolutely amazing. She's probably the only character I can actually play well with on Killer Instinct. I'm crap at that game. Mortal Kombat was always Sub-Zero, but I tend to like Liu Kang and Baraka quite a lot as well. But Sub-Zero is the one I can play with best. Next question is from Sam, Sushi Sunshine, I can't say that at all, can I? Sushi Sunshine 2000. Cheers Sam. If you had a choice to buy either a Neo Geo AES or a PC Engine, what would you buy? I'd go with a PC Engine, if I'm absolutely honest. I've had a Neo Geo in the past and I like the console, but it's a rich man's game getting into AES collecting. And when I say that, I mean if you want to really get truly into it properly, not just, you know, pick up the obvious ones like Burning Fight and, you know, the cheaper games and like Nam. When you want to get the proper ones like Polestar and games like that, you got to spend some cash. And I just, even if I had the money, I couldn't justify it. It's just ridiculous. I'm not a massive Neo Geo guy either, so you'd just be buying it for the sake of it. So yeah, the PC Engine is a console I absolutely love, and it's got some amazing arcade ports as well as brilliant platformers, action games, shooters. And you know, I got to the point where I was never going to pick a PC Engine up again. And then the other night I was watching Johnny Millennium, Happy Console Gamer, and he put a video up called PC Engine Rocks. And he was just listing game after game after game, and I was just like, yeah man, that's an advertisement for PC Engine, or that's a definite, I need to have that console video. It was just epic. So yeah, I think in the future I will have to get another PC Engine because they are absolutely incredible. I'm watching Dad's Cajones de Loro's last video when he was talking about his whole situation with the PC Engine recently. Yeah, if you've seen that, then yeah, I think Daz hit the nail on the head there, that, you know, he regretted getting rid of that system, and it's good that he's got it back now, because it is an absolutely beautiful little bit of kit and it's got some amazing games on it. So yeah, possibly will get one of those eventually. Would you buy a Retro VGS console? Well, I won't go too deep into this because I think we've exhausted this topic over the past few weeks, and I think if you know anything about the Retro VGS, you know all the pitfalls and the pros and the cons. I personally will still buy one if they can come back strong and they can do a Kickstarter and they can get it right and they can give people what they want. I still believe in the concept that they were going for, that Mike wanted to do. I thought it was a great idea, and they just need to tweak a few things, get the price point right, and, you know, they'll be okay. But yeah, it's just whether or not people trust them after what's happened. But I personally want to back the Retro VGS all the way to the end. I want it to be a thing, but who knows, time will tell. Okay, next question's off from my good mate Alex, BlueTonic78. Cheers, Alex. It's nice to see you leaving questions as well. It's been a while. What realistic situation would it take for you to genuinely feel that you have had it with the UK and investigate moving overseas? Did a bit of a Ronnie Corbett then, didn't I? Anyway, oh God, Alex, in terms of leaving the UK, it would have to be dramatic. It would have to be like Civil War or something. And I can't really see that happening anytime soon. But yeah, this is one of the safest countries in the world, and I love living in this country. It's fantastic. So yeah, Civil War is probably the only thing that would make me move, and even then I would hope that it wouldn't be that situation, that it would be resolved quickly, or yeah, it wouldn't be a need to move, because I don't see any other country that really attracts me enough to want to move to it, to be quite honest with you. Where do you tend to discover the majority of new bands and artists? TV, radio, YouTube, word of mouth, etc. For the most part, like these modern days, what the hell am I talking about? These days it's probably a case of YouTube and Google. I know when I get into new genres, like I got into country music not long ago, and it was a case of just doing Google and just trying to find websites to get some advice on what bands and artists to look out for, who's new, who's cool, what great albums are out there. And then I'll just go onto YouTube, Google that YouTube that person, find the videos, have a listen to a few tracks, and if I like what I heard, then I'd go and buy an album. So yeah, like Casey Musgraves, absolutely love her, she's amazing. I heard one song, thought she was fantastic, I was like, I've got to find out more. Listened to another song, I was like, yeah, this is brilliant. So I went and bought the album, and it's phenomenal. So yeah, that's usually the way I do it. It's usually the internet, is quick and easy. Do you tend to branch out with the channels you subscribe to these days, or do you still generally stick to the gaming community? Mostly stick to the gaming community, yeah, absolutely. I really don't branch out, and to be honest, it's because I can never think of anything to look for. The main videos that I watch are gaming, and the only branching out I do is for movies and for vinyl. I watch literally maybe 2 or 3 vinyl channels that I can think of, and videos, I only watch Collider, Chris Stockman and John Flickster, and that's plenty. That just, you know, it gives me all the information I need to know about what's happening in the movie industry, and what films are coming out and what people think of them. And I love those guys anyway. And John Flickster in particular is just awesome, one of my favourite guys to watch on YouTube, full stop. And regardless of what the genre, he's just a really funny guy. So yeah, I'd like to be able to branch out more and find other things to look at. If anyone can give some suggestions for channels that are worth looking at that aren't gaming, movie related or music related, that kind of limits it, I know, but if you can, just let me know in the comments. Sounds a bit deep, but we all have different interests, yet our channels tend to be dominated by gaming. Do you ever feel like you have put yourself in a bit of a corner to the point where people almost expect and want you to just upload gaming videos? And does this perhaps subconsciously prevent you from tackling other topics and interests that you'd like to talk about on a regular basis? It does feel like that sometimes, yeah. It does feel as though people are, you know, requiring gaming videos, and you know, it's fair enough. You got to understand that, you know, people subscribe to my channel and to all of us who make videos in the gaming community, because primarily we make videos about gaming, whether it be retro or modern or a mixture of both. And so people, you know, subscribe for a particular reason. I know when I watch other channels, if I find a channel and they're talking about a particular subject and it's someone I'm interested in, I'll subscribe to them. But if they was to start diversifying too much, it might put me off a little bit, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I'm more of a, I suppose more with me, I'm more the kind of person that would just not watch the video and then just wait for something I wanted to watch. Like Alex in particular, you know, he makes loads of gaming videos and he's one of my best friends on YouTube. But he'll do videos about football. I don't know anything about football, have no interest in football, so I don't watch them, and Alex knows this. But you know, it doesn't change anything. It just means I don't watch his football vids. I just watch every other vid he does. But yeah, I do feel like sometimes, whether it's real or not, you feel that pressure that people want just gaming videos, they don't want a variety. I mean, you're always going to get trolls leaving shitty comments, but like the people who actually watch your videos and enjoy your content and want to talk to you and make, you know, communicate and have a back and forth, you know, for the most part, I don't really have that much of a problem on my channel. I have diversified, you know, I've done Amiibos, which are more figures than anything. It's still gaming related, I know. But I've done vinyl pickups, I've done Blu-ray collections, and they usually get down well. It just means that the audience is lower because there are only certain people that want to watch those. I do find it weird with Blu-ray because I thought, like, who doesn't like film? Yeah, it's weird. I can understand vinyl, but then I think who doesn't like music? Just because it's on a record doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't matter if I'm talking about a digital download, a CD, a tape cassette, or a record. It's, you know, the music itself that's important. But then again, I suppose people, you know, a lot of people like put themselves into little pockets and they like certain genres and they don't like other certain genres. Not everybody's eclectic. You know, I personally like watching music videos because you get to learn about different genres and different artists you'd never listen to. But yeah, I do feel there is a little pressure sometimes, but then I think, you know, you've got to make your videos for yourself. That's more important than anything. If you don't make the videos that you're happy with, you might as well pack up and go home and stop making YouTube videos, you know, because if we're making this for free, we're doing it as a hobby and for fun, so make the videos you want to make, put them out. If people want to watch them, they'll watch them. If they don't, they won't. You know, I never get hung up on views and subscribers and things. I'm always grateful for everyone who watches my video, and you know, even more so when they subscribe, I suppose, because you know, it's a validation that they really want to see more content and they want to keep in contact and keep up to date. But it's not the be all and end all at the end of the day. You know, I'd rather have the communication. For me, that's the most important thing. People who regularly watch and just want to have a chat and, you know, have a back and forth, that's more important. So there you go, long-winded answer. Sorry about that, Alex. Right, next questions are from Strip Waffle, so thank you, mate. And first question is, what is your favourite Amiga game and how do you think the system has held up over time? Favourite game is impossible, to be honest. There's just too many to choose from. Turrican 2 stands out as one of my absolute all-time favourites alongside Killing Game Show. But then there's games like Monkey Island 1 and 2, there's Speedball 2, there's, you know, Gods, there's Magic Pockets, there's just, you know, Saint Dragon, there's just tons of games. Rodland, which I absolutely adore, it's one of my absolute favourite Amiga games. So yeah, it's difficult to pick one. In terms of how it's held up over time, exceptionally well. I've been really surprised how good the games still look, sound and play. And I'm really impressed. I wasn't sure how they were going to age because it's been, you know, it was the 80s and it's a long time ago. And I know when I was a kid, obviously the Super Nintendo Mega Drive made me start thinking that the Amiga was looking very dated, especially Street Fighter 2. It was absolutely horrific on the Amiga. It was a terrible port. I was so disappointed with that and Final Fight when I got them at Christmas, and yeah, no shit. And so the Super Nintendo version looked near arcade perfect, and it was depressing seeing it on the Amiga. But I think now, as an objective adult, I can just love all systems for what they are. And the Amiga is great. It's got an amazing library, some absolutely stunning games, and also being 2D like most 2D machines, the games age well because they're flat, so they're not really looking dated at all. I love the system. Now that you're rebuilding your Super Nintendo collection, what would be the top 5 games that you want the most for it? Super Turrican 2, without doubt, number 1. Gotta have that. Demon's Crest, I've never played it and I really want to try it. It looks interesting. Final Fight 3, absolutely, because I love that game. Short and sweet, but absolutely brilliant. What else? Yeah, I'm trying to think because there's a few now that are quite expensive. Turtles in Time. It's a common game, but unfortunately it's gone up in price. Absolutely one of my favourite SNES games, so I have to own that. And Super Turrican as well, the first one. So yeah, because that's becoming not only expensive but bloody hard to find. There don't seem to be many copies getting listed for some reason, which is weird. It's a great game though. There will most likely be a Last of Us 2 at some point. Do you think this game will continue Joel and Ellie's story or introduce entirely new characters? I don't know. I mean, it's been leaked recently that one of the Naughty Dog guys accidentally slipped up and sort of pretty much confirmed that they're making a sequel, which is great. I don't know if I want the continuation of the story of the two characters, Joel and Ellie, or if I want to take it elsewhere and have a different perspective. It depends how you interpret the ending. I mean, the ending left me personally wanting more, but I wouldn't be adverse to having a story that was completely different and from a different perspective. And I think it would probably make it a little bit more interesting. But I think in terms of, like, you know, the mainstream, they're going to want to keep with Joel and Ellie because that's where they started and people want to continue the story. But I'm happy either way, to be honest with you. What is your favourite TV show at the moment? Empire. Easily. I love Empire. It's just an absolutely brilliant show. If you've not seen Empire, guys, I highly recommend checking it out. It's fantastic. And there's a few shows I've been watching recently. A lot of the ones that I've been watching for years are coming back now and starting again. But Empire is definitely one of the best new shows. Other than that, I'm watching the usual. I'm watching like Castle, Blue Bloods, Supernatural, iZombies, fantastic. I love that show. What else is the Hawaii Five-0, which I absolutely adore. Criminal Minds, Chicago PD. What else is there? There's a new show called Blind Spot, which is really good. It's about a girl in a bag who's got tattoos all over her body, and she's got an FBI agent's name on her back. And they've called the FBI agent in. He doesn't know who she is, and they have to unravel the story because she doesn't have any memory. Her memory's been completely wiped. And the tattoos open up and tell the story when they analyse each tattoo. It's really good. And also, one of the actors in it as well is Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie in Last of Us, which is really cool. Yeah, that's a really great show. What else am I watching at the moment? Oh yeah, there's a new show called Quantico as well, which just started, which is really interesting. I think about 3 or 4 episodes. I think 3 episodes in so far. Really like that show a lot. It's great. It's nothing too original, but it's really fun. It's basically about a load of kids who are joining the FBI and they've gone to Quantico to train, and it splits between them training at Quantico to be FBI agents and then present day. And in present day, a terrorist attack has happened in New York, and one of the FBI trainees is blamed for the attack, but this person hasn't done it and they have to prove their innocence. So it's nothing original, but you get loads of twists and turns and you never know who you can quite trust. And it's really good so far, so I highly recommend Quantico and Blind Spot as two, is Blind Spot on it? Yeah, Blind Spot, I'm sure it is. Two great games, two great new TV shows, and as I say, Empire, absolutely superb show. What do you think, what year do you think there will be proper games for virtual reality? I would think proper games, fully immersive experiences, probably around about 2017-18, if it takes off. I'm still sceptical whether VR is going to take off. I think Oculus has got a chance, but it's really expensive. Morpheus, I don't see it working if I'm absolutely honest, because I just know what Sony are like. Their past history of handhelds and peripherals like the Move, if it don't work straight away, they dump it and they just sideline it and they're not asked. They don't push it enough, which is a shame because I love the Move. I like the concept and I've always liked the idea of virtual reality, but the more it's becoming a reality now, I'm starting to think I don't like it. Because I don't like the concept of sitting there with the Morpheus strapped to my head, headphones in, completely oblivious to the world. I prefer the HoloLens. I think the HoloLens is a much more interesting concept. And going forward in the future, if once the technology is more advanced, the HoloLens could be something really special. I have a great idea that if you've got a spare room and it's completely empty, you've got blank walls, the HoloLens would be able to be like a holodeck on Star Trek. You could project the images all around the room and create a whole narrative. It could be a detective story or anything. I don't know, I just think the HoloLens has got a lot of potential and a lot of other potential besides entertainment as well. I just don't know if virtual reality is actually going to be something I personally want to sit down and play. It's a nice novelty. I just don't think I want to spend hours with a headset strapped to my face. What is your favourite Madonna track? Like a Prayer, easily. Great record, great video, she looks fit. Can't go wrong. What game do you wish to have a sequel, old or new? Freedom Fighters. It's always Freedom Fighters because it never happened and I would love that to happen. I would love someone to kickstart that actually. Yeah, Freedom Fighters 2 would make me very happy. Next questions are from LFC Gamer, so thank you mate. And his first question is, have you ever played Tokyo Going 8-Bit? I have indeed. I played it on the arcade as a kid, loved it, and I recently played it on the Mega Drive when I had my Japanese Mega Drive collection. And it's a really great version on the Mega Drive, very impressed. I played it on the Amiga as well. It was okay. It isn't as good as the Mega Drive version. The Mega Drive version is spot on. So yeah, I want to pick it up for the Genesis, but unfortunately it's about $40–50 for a decent copy, so yeah, that'll be a while. Do you agree that most of today's popular music is rather generic and boring? I don't listen to a lot, to be quite honest with you. Not like the mainstream pop on the radio kind of music. I don't listen to a lot of it at all. I just hear the odd track here and there. The whole Simon Cowell thing, as much as I love X Factor and that show is going down the pan rapidly, I don't like Simon Cowell's way of doing things at all. I'm not a vehement, anti-Simon Cowell guy, but he's just deaf basically. He's tone deaf. He likes one style of singing and that's a lot, and he wants everybody else to be brainwashed to like that kind of crap singing. So yeah, doesn't do it for me at all. But there's some of the stuff on the radio, it's alright. I must admit, a lot of it, it's like anything. when you've got a genre of music that goes mainstream, it tends to get a bit bland. R&B and hip hop have done that for me. You know, back in the 90s when I was listening to hip hop and R&B, it wasn't mainstream. And then in the millennium, it went mainstream and it's just generic and it comes across quite false, I find nowadays. You know, with all the jewelry and stuff, it's like, yeah, that's just been done before and it's been done better. There's not a lot of intelligence in it anymore either. I mean, you know, you get the odd rapper that makes an effort, but most of them it's just same old bullshit you've heard a million times before. So yeah, I think mainstream-wise, the only thing that really stands out for me still is Britney. Britney's still great. You know, that Pretty Girl song, I absolutely loved it. She's back in the studio now, so hopefully the new album will be coming. She's just signed up for 2 more years in Las Vegas, so Christ knows when we're going to get a Blu-ray of that at some point, but I hope we do. So yeah, if anyone watching who didn't know, I'm a massive Britney Spears fan. There you go. Right, okay. Are you looking forward to seeing the new James Bond film, Spectre? Yes, absolutely. About 2 weeks to go. Me and my dad are going to go and see it at the cinema. I went to see Skyfall last time and I absolutely fell in love with that movie. I've seen it a few times on Blu-ray now. Love it. So yeah, I really like Casino Royale. Great. But for me, Skyfall was better. Quantum of Solace was alright. It gets better every time you watch it, but it's still crap. So I'm really got high hopes for Spectre actually. The trailers have been exceptional so far. Christoph Waltz looks fantastic. You know, Daniel Craig is really just completely relaxed into the role now. He is Bond and he does such a good job. So yeah, I'm excited to see which way they take this one. Because obviously Skyfall had a lot of nods to the old style of Bond, which was really cool and a lot of humour. I'm interested to see what they do with this one, but yeah, definitely going to go see Spectre. Right, next questions are from NKR, thank you mate. And the first question is, what are the top 3 games that you are looking forward to in the next 6 months? For me, it's Fallout 4, Rainbow Six and Uncharted 4. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's going to be Rise of the Tomb Raider next month, which I'm absolutely cannot wait to play. I'm so psyched for that, it's going to be awesome. And then Uncharted 4, really. And Halo 5 is coming out in a couple of weeks, but I'm not that arsed. I didn't like Halo 4, and I don't, unless 343 Studios really make something different with Halo 5, I'm not bothered about playing it straight away. I'll get it when it comes down in price. I'll wait and see what all the reviews are like first of all, because I found Halo 4 to be extremely boring. But yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider and Uncharted 4. I've got the Uncharted 4 Collector's Edition on order as well with game, with the statue and everything, because I just had to. I never buy Collector's Editions, but I saw that one. It just looks so good. Right, okay, what retro game series would you love to see brought back to life on current gen consoles? On current gen console, I'd like to see Streets of Rage. I think a lot of people want Streets of Rage 4. I mean, being a Nintendo guy, not a Sega guy, it's strange to say that. But I love the Streets of Rage series. I think it'd be great to see a new one. And the only other one that would really interest me, and it'd probably be an indie title, I can't see it being a full price game. In fact, to be honest, Streets of Rage would probably be an indie title as well. I would love someone to do a new version of Killing Game Show. I think that would look epic, you know, with the particle effects and stuff. It just looks so good on the new systems. Right, okay, it's a long question this one. So, FIFA or PES, Forza or Gran Turismo, Mario or Sonic, Sensible Soccer or Kickoff, Xbox or PlayStation, PlayStation Vita or 3DS. Right, so FIFA or PES, I'm not asked either way because I don't like either game. But if I was going to choose one, it'd be FIFA, just because it's a lot easier to play. But I don't know, they change it every year, so I don't know if it's up on the technical level that PES is now. If it is, then I can't play either one of them. So just assuming it's more arcadey, I'll go with FIFA. Forza or Gran Turismo? Gran Turismo. I can't play Forza to save my life, I just crash into the wall. Mario or Sonic? Mario, easy. Not because I'm a Nintendo kid, but just because they're better games. Sensible Soccer or Kickoff? That's a tough one. I really love Kickoff too, and I really love Sensible Soccer. I think at a push it would be Kickoff, just because it's got a bit more chunky sprites. But I really like Sensible Soccer. Yeah, it's hard to choose, but if I'm pushed, I'll go with Kickoff. Xbox or PlayStation? Well, to be honest, I can't pick between them because they're both equal. You know, I've gone back and forth between them. I had a PlayStation, then I had a PS2, then I had an Xbox, then I had an Xbox 360, then I had a PS3, then I had now I've got a PS4 and an Xbox One. And I love both equally. I think both Microsoft and Sony have done a great job with all their consoles, and they all have great exclusives. So yeah, I can't really pick between those two. PS Vita or 3DS? Well, I've never played on the Vita, so I don't know. I love the 3DS, it was a great system, I've owned a couple of them, but I can't choose because I've never played on the PS Vita. If I ever own one, I'll be able to tell you. But the only reason I'd buy one is to play Uncharted, and I ain't paying all that money just for that. Alright, next questions are from Keith Hewitt. Hello Keith. Thank you for the questions, mate. First question is, where is Twit the Shred? Good question, I have no idea. Lloyd, if you're watching, mate, I hope you're coming back soon. I hope you're doing all right. It's been a long time, and a quick vlog just to say hello would be nice. If you could do something that's currently impossible to do, what would it be? I would time travel. I would have to say I would teleport. Yeah, I'd teleport, because I think it just makes travel a lot easier. So that's what I'd like to do. Have you heard that there's a company called Datadisc making vinyl records of old video game soundtracks with a full colour sleeve? Yeah, I actually bought Streets of Rage, and there is a video on my channel where I showed the record, and it's absolutely fantastic. So if anyone doesn't know, Datadisc are a new company putting out old game soundtracks on vinyl. So currently they've done Streets of Rage, Shenmue, they've just done Shinobi 3, and they're doing Super Hang-On shortly. And next year they've got Streets of Rage 2 and Outrun ready to go, which are the ones I'm going to be picking up. I can't wait. Good mate Jay, Cyber Snake 7, just picked up Shinobi, and it looks amazing. So yeah, they're really, really nicely done. Great records, the sound quality is fantastic. What would make Mario Kart 9, what would Mario Kart 9 have to be like, to be your favourite Mario Kart game and not the original off its podium? It's not possible, Keith. Can't happen. The only way they can improve Mario Kart for me personally would be to make a better battle mode, get it like the original, because that's what made the multiplayer so great on the original game, and just increase the challenge a bit more, because I found on Mario Kart 8 the first, the 50cc, the first couple of races was just boring as hell, because you're always out in front, there was no challenge whatsoever, and it was crap, so I didn't enjoy that one little bit. Next questions are from Nat Kennedy Breeze. Cheers, Nat. First question, if you fell in love with a girl and she turned out to be a porn star, could you marry her? No. Simple as that. And I think if that's the point where I fell in love with her and she hasn't told me what she's doing for a living, that's not right, is it really? You need to be upfront and honest about things like that. And also I think unless you're a porn star yourself, you can't really relate to her, well, I'll say job, but you know what I mean, it's just, it would just cause too many arguments, and I don't think it'd be worth it, and yeah, it's not the kind of woman I'd want to date. And that sounds really judgmental, but there you go. If PC gaming was to become the only available gaming, would you bite the bullet? No. I don't get on with PCs, I don't like Windows, it just irritates the shit out of me. I find PCs very temperamental, and I get very frustrated very quickly trying to use one, so if that was the case, I'd have to give up gaming and just stick with what I've got. Carl's Jr. recently released a burger called the El Scorcho. It has jalapenos, jalapeno sauce filled pieces, and habanero sauce. Would you try it? I'd try it because it sounds really nice, but I'd probably regret it afterwards because I'd probably be feeling like shit with all that heat. But yeah, I'd definitely give it a try because I love jalapenos. Never tried habanero though. Right, and the last questions are from Shen Muso, Ben. Thank you, Ben. And he asks, I know you hate digital gaming, me too, but have you dabbled in the indie market? If so, can you recommend any indie games on Live and PSN? I can't, mate. I don't play anything digital, even indie stuff. I just don't play any of it. So I don't know. Alex Blutonic78 is the best person to ask. He plays quite a lot, and he had a really great one he showed recently, a Rambo style game which looked cool. So yeah, this is why I want the Retro VGS to become reality, because I want all those games to come to cartridge. And people can say, oh, you're mad for paying the money when you can just buy it digitally for a couple of quid. Well, I probably am, but that's just the way I prefer to play the games. And do you think that money being spent on the Mars mission is worth it? Yeah, absolutely. I think any money that's spent on exploration and trying to learn more about the universe is worth it. I mean, you got to think about the future. When we're all dead and gone, we don't know what the Earth's going to be like, because we're destroying it at the moment. So if it gets to a point where there's a generation where it's just not feasible to live on the planet, obviously we can't live on Mars, but I mean, at that point we might have adapted and found technological ways to build bases underground, and we have amazing spacesuits and oxygen machines and Christ knows what. Or we just use one of the many Earth-like planets that we've found, because we might end up working out how to use the Einstein-Rosen bridge, and that way we can just travel across space and time piss easy. I mean, get to any planet we want and recolonise it. So yeah, I definitely think we should be spending the money to explore the universe, because it's really important. Science is important. We need to know more about our planet, what's outside our planet, about our physiology, everything. There's a lot to be learnt. So there you go, guys. That's this month's, I'm out of practice. That's this episode's questions. Thank you very much to everyone who asked me a question. Appreciate it. If you do have a question for me, guys, on any topic whatsoever, it doesn't have to be gaming, whatever you want to talk about, leave it down in the comments, and when I make the next Ask SNES video, I might put your question out. So thank you for watching. As always, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.